Good morning, you lovely, lovely lot. Right, so this is going to be my review of the NoPity RDA by NoName Mods. Now, first up, guys, this is all going to be quite disjointed. I've had a terrible week in terms of computers. I've lost a number of files. My hard drive's all to cock. I've had the most persistent virus. Hopefully, I've managed to clear that now, and I'm back in business. But like I said, I lost some files. Some stuff got corrupted. So the original intro and everything else that I did for this video is gone. But I have managed to get some of the other bits because I recorded them on my phone and not on the laptop. I actually have backups of those files. So rather than do the whole thing again, and the video quality on the laptop is terrible, as you probably saw last time. In fact, no, I did it on the camera last time. But the video quality on the laptop is horrific. So what I'm going to do is just do a dead quick intro to this, give you a little bit of information, then we'll go down, we'll have a look. I've already done the unboxing and a quick coil build. May not be to everybody's taste, so if you're watching this for the coil build, I'll warn you now that it is a 0.4, I believe, dual Clapton build that I put in there. Okay, that's my daily build. I know some of you guys that's probably not going to appeal to, but essentially it's just sort of a starting point. It's more about placement of the coils, how to put your wicks in, etc. That's the important bit out of that, really. I haven't actually found a build that doesn't work really well in this, so you're fairly safe with the NoPity. So just some facts about this one. It is the atomizer is made out of 316 grade stainless steel. It is quite tall. Okay, it's actually smaller. I know it doesn't look it because I've got it on a Frankie. It's actually just slightly smaller, I believe, than the Snapdragon. Okay, so it's not massive, but it's certainly not a low pro or a stumpy or anything like that. It's got a decent size to it. Now there is a reason for that, and the reason for that is the size of the juice wells in this thing. Now I've seen 10 mil banded around. To me, looking at it, it doesn't look 10 mil. Millimeters, I should point out, not milliliters. But they're massive. They are absolutely massive. Which brings its positive points and its negatives, but we'll go over that later on. That's all described in the build section. So yeah, it's made out of 316 grade stainless steel. Your airflow options with this thing are phenomenal. You can run all the way from a single 1 mil air hole each side. This runs a dual bottom airflow. You can run a single coil. You can't block the airflow off. You could stuff cotton in, etc., but there's really no point. You've got that much airflow options, you don't need to. So you can run all the way from a single 1 mil air hole per side, all the way up to 3 1.8 mil air holes per side. And if that still isn't enough, you can also get one of these. So that is a cloud cap. So with that one, as you can see there, you get your Cyclops hole there, which will give you your 3 times 1.8 mil air holes. And you also get a direct to coil airflow up there as well. Now that hole is about 2.5 mil, if I'm not mistaken. So massive, massive airflow potential if that's what you're looking for. The post holes in this are massive. They are a good 2 mil, and they actually come with a cutout in the post. So what you do is you put your wire through the post, and then you grab it, you pull it back around and trim it off. So that the wire actually stays, even a thick Clapton wire like I've got in this, actually stays within the post so that there's no chance of shorts when you're putting the top cap on. Really, really nice little touch. It is literally my favourite 22 mil atomizer. You'll get that impression throughout. I love this thing. I was lucky enough to meet Andrea at Vape Jam and buy it from him personally. I haven't put it down. It hasn't been off a mod. It's sat on my Frankie since I got it and almost exclusively been used on that every single day. That's how much I like this. It's very rare for me to find a setup that I would use every single day without fail, but this is the one. Other 22 mil atties have come and gone in the time that I've had this. This is still here, and there is a reason for that. If you haven't tried one, I absolutely recommend get yourself a want to buy up, get hold of one, try it. They're fantastic. I'll also pop a description, a link in the description below so that you can see where you can go and buy them. There's a couple of places I think have them in stock, or they certainly did a couple of days ago when I looked. I'll recheck again and post the links. They range anywhere from sort of 108 to 135 euros. Well worth the money. Blows all other 22mm out of the water as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, enough of my rambling. Oh, sorry, before I go, one thing I did want to show you. So there's your standard top cap. That's your standard stainless cloud cap. Look at your drip tip up there. And then this morning in the post from Mr. Andrea Podgier himself, I did receive this one. Okay, so a nice brass cloud cap with this white Delrin drip tip instead of the black. Now, as you can see, there's just a slight visual difference there as well. Okay, so the white one is slightly taller. And if we have a look at the top there, I don't know how well you'll be able to make this out, but you know, believe me when I say that this one is a thinner wall. You see how thick, sorry, I know this camera's not great for that. See how thick that is there, yeah? And then if I pop this one in, nice bit of juice splatter on it, I have been using it. You can see that that is nowhere near as thick as this one. Now, when I actually hold these two up together and look down the center, I'd say the white one has an extra mil all the way around, you know, for the inner bore. So actually, in terms of cloud cap, this is the cloud cap plus some. You know, it's fantastic. And look at that. That's beautiful. And I've got a mod coming soon, which there will be a video on when it arrives. I've got a mod coming soon that's going to have brass plates, brass button, and this lovely dark stabilized bog oak. So this is just going to look phenomenal on top of that. But yeah, thank you very much, Andrea, for sending this over. These, you know, the customizable parts are all available as well. Again, I'll post some links up for that, but you can get, you know, different drip tip sections, you can get the different top caps, you can get reducer rings, you can get all of these things for the NoPity, which just makes it that little bit more customizable, so you can, you know, get a setup that you really like the look of, and you can tweak that to how you want it to be, rather than just being, this is your AE, you can change the drip tip. You actually get the options with this. It's worth mentioning, they don't do, as far as I know, up to current time, they do not do a 510 drip tip adapter for these. However, there was a chap on Safer Vapors. Really sorry if you're watching this. I can't remember who it was. But there was a chap that told me that if you take a version 1 Goblin Mini drip tip adapter, wrap it in some PTFE tape, and it will then screw in with just enough interference to actually hold it in place and allow you to use a 510 drip tip. So yeah, if that's your kind of thing, if you really want to be able to put a 510 drip tip on one of these, there is that option there for you. I will confirm with Andrea whether or not a standard 510 drip tip adapter is available or will be available in the future. And again, I'll pop that in the description, guys. So hopefully the rest of the video, you know, isn't too long, doesn't bore you too much. It's been a hell of a week. I was hoping to edit all of this down, make it smooth, make it slick, etc. It's just not working, unfortunately. And I'm kind of at the point where if this doesn't go out, it's never going to. So let's get this up. You guys have a look. I'm sorry if it's a bit long, but I promise you, as time goes on, I will make these reviews shorter and more to the point, and I'll stop waffling. You have to look at me for less time out of the video. So all the best, guys. Hope you enjoy the rest of the vid. Any thoughts, comments, anything you know that you want to ask, just pop it in the comment section below and I will do my best to come back to you. Okay guys, welcome back. So you're gonna have to excuse all the funky shadows and general shakiness of the camera. I'm actually using my mobile phone in my own hands, so yeah, not the poshest of setups, but hopefully it will do the job. So this is the box that the NoPity by NoName Mods comes in. Nice simple box with the logo branded on there, very nice. And inside, sat in a bit better than this when it came to me, is the NoPity RDA. Absolutely lovely. You have to excuse the little marks. There is a dink on the top of this and a little mark that I can't quite seem to get rid of on the side there. It has been in use every single day for the last month straight, so yeah, it has got marks on it. It has been dropped, unfortunately. So there's that one. And then inside the box we also get, if I can get it out, I don't know if this would come in the box normally. I grabbed mine direct from Andrea at Vape Jam this year. I was lucky enough to meet him and get him to sell me one of these beauties. So yeah, that's your cloud cap. Okay, so with this one you have your Cyclops air hole there and also your direct to coil airflow hole there. So if we lift out this little bit of padding material, in the bottom here we have our different size Allen keys. And you've got a different size Allen key for the center pin, for your bottom feed pin, your normal pin. Both of those actually use different sizes, because the normal one you actually unscrew from the top, so you do that from inside the atomizer, whereas the bottom feed one obviously you undo from the outside of the atomizer. So it comes with a couple of spare O-rings, your extra pin as we said, and also just tucked in the bottom of the baggie there is a spare set of grub screws. So that is essentially the box, what you get in it. The important bit obviously is the atomizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this back on the Frankenskull, and then we're going to have a little look, and I'll also drop it down and we'll do a build on it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and set this up with a slightly better angle. That's kind of workable. So I'm going to pop this onto my Frankenskull, and at the moment it still has a build in it. So if I show you from this side, okay, so that is your airflow there. Okay, so in the deck there are these 1.8mm holes which come direct in underneath your coils. Now obviously I'll strip all of this out in a mo and we'll go through it from there. I just want to show you how the top cap works before we do that. So there's your airflow holes, and here is your top cap. So now you see we've got these large Cyclops air holes which will give you full airflow. You've also got these 3 smaller holes there, and then 3 diddy little holes there. Can't really get a focus on them. Stick a finger in there. There we go. So you've got your 3 diddy air holes, your 3 slightly larger air holes, which obviously will match up with your 1.4mm, and then your Cyclops to be used with your 1.8mm holes. Now, you can run this, like we said, either full airflow, or you can run this all the way down. You can have 1.8, 1.4, or even, if you like a suicide restrictive hit, a single 1mm air hole. Now, I like to vape this on its larger setting, and I have on occasion been known to use the cloud cap. So I'm going to grab some build materials and rip this build out, and we'll go through a build. Right then, let's get this this coil build done for you guys. So all I'm using for this coil build are, you know, your basic coiling tools. The coils I've already made, and they are just some little 4-wrap Claptons. Okay, now I'm not a wire building expert, so I'm just using this pre-made Clapton wire, which is 32 gauge Clapton around 26 gauge. You can get that from, you know, most places nowadays if you fancy having a go with it. So you've got your NoPity base. Just use your Allen key. This isn't the one that came in the pack. That's somewhere in my box of Allen keys. And just loosen off your holes, giving you access there to your quite large post holes. And you get your first coil. Yeah, I just pop it on a screwdriver just to sort of help me to get it in place and tighten her up without bending anything. So get your coil in through the post holes, which is always much more difficult on camera. Heard people say that for years and always thought they were talking rubbish, but it would appear it's actually the case. So, get your wires through, and you want to bring them back so that they just sit over the air holes. So, pretty well as tight as you can get it back to the posts. And that serves two purposes. One, obviously it sits as above our airflow, and secondly, when you're using something like Clapton wire, it means that we're going to have enough clearance to actually be able to get that second coil in there. So that's one. Okay, so that's both our coils held in place now. What I'm going to do at this point is just try and even them up a little bit, get them so they're sat, you know, about the same height, roughly the same place. I'm not going for perfection here, guys. This is literally just a quick get them in place, get them working, just so that you can see, you know, how easy this stuff is. So now all you want to do is bring your wire around. You should be able to make out, you see that the post is actually sort of chopped out for the wire there. That's so that you're not going to catch in your top cap. So pull that around nice and tight. Yes, you shouldn't be able to see it on that back edge at all once it's tight. And then just cut her off flush. And all that does is keeps your wire out of the way so that when you put your top cap on, you're not getting a short on the top cap. So do the same for all four of your tails, legs, whatever you want to call them. Get them all chopped off. That looks really wonky from this side. Let's just give her a little even up. There we go, that's close enough. Okay, so again, sorry, I know they're not really that pretty, but that's not really the point of this video. So there you go, that's coming out as expected at a 0.3. So that should rise slightly once we've you know, put some heat through, pinched and pulsed, which I will just pop onto a regulated mod now. Really need that bit on there. Sorry, I wasn't better prepared there. In all honesty, what I would normally do is pop it straight onto the Frankie and just give her a pulse up from there, because I've done this build many times. But in the interest of showing you the correct way to do it, so we'll pop it onto a regulated device, and there you go. So the DNA is picking that up at 0.28, and then we're just gonna give it a little pulse, just get some heat through there. He says, crikey, let's turn that wattage up. What a time to have the weak battery message come up. And it's actually, Claptons don't need that much messing around with. They're not perfect by any means. It's as good as it's going to get on that device. Hang on, let me pop it on the other. Of course, remember kids, that is a hot. So don't do what I just did and try and grab the coils. Okay, so I'll take us up to about 40 watts. There we go. And what's this one reading them at? This one's reading them back at 0.3. Happy days. Pop some power through them. There we go. They're actually not that bad at all. Right. So, surprisingly, they're actually still reading bang on the 0.3. That'll probably go up a touch once we've wicked and juiced them. Once again, that is a hop. Pop it back on here for a sec, just while we go through wicking really quickly, guys. 0.32, happy with that, that's fine. So we're not massively out on any of those. So now all I'm going to do with this is grab some cotton bacon, or whichever wicking material you wish to use. Just take off a nice sized piece, just roll it in your hands. I'll do this bit off camera, guys, it's a really awkward angle. Now what you want with this is a tip that will go through the coil, and you want your wicking material to be firm but loose. There we go. So you see there's still lots of movement in that, but we absolutely have plenty of wick material through there as well. That's what we're looking for. And we want to trim these off just a couple of mil outside of the edge of the atty there. Yeah? So you can fluff them up, make them all pretty. Or you can do what I do, which is actually pinch the end shut and push them out of the way. The reason for that is because these cores sit quite close together. And when you go to put the second wick in, what you can have happen is that actually the fibres start to interlock. Your cotton wool thinks it's Velcro, and the two wicks stick to each other and start pulling each other around, and that's not really what I'm after. Now that's obviously a bit tight there, because she is snagging up a treat. Just get that out. And now it's doing exactly what I just talked about. It's catching on the second wick. I'll just hold that out of the way, and pull this one into place. Okay, so again, tight, but there is movement there. Okay, and we want to cut them. About the same, just give them a little neaten up. Okay, so there are our 2 wicks. So, as you can see, I've started to juice up my wicks. What I'm looking for here is enough juice on there. I can separate them and move them around as I want. So, what you're going to do is make sure that you have a definite separation between your 2 wicks. And you're just going to take your wick and just poke it into the juice well. Okay, do the same all round. And we're just poking and tucking. We are not forcing, we're not stuffing it in there. You just want it in nice and loose. You start ramming it in there, and it actually becomes more difficult for it to wick. Now, in all honesty, I could probably take another couple of mil off of those tails. See, what I'm doing here is I'm just making sure that I can see all the way through the center of the A there. Okay, you see straight down the middle there, you've got your juice hole. Now your airflow is obviously directly either side of that, and your juice well is at the ends. So if you stuff all of your cotton into your juice well, nice and tight, and you don't make sure that actually it can get out to these outer edges, what will happen is that juice will just come straight up. If it's blocked off by the cotton, it will come straight up and just go straight out the air holes, and it will go everywhere. Okay, that's obviously not what we're looking for. So I'm quite happy with that. You can see I've got clear passage right the way, sorry, camera focus. You can see I've got a clear passage right the way out to the edge of the cup. Yeah, and there's plenty of room there for the juice to move around when you give it a squonk. Just give it a little extra. I'm going to use a cloud cap on this build. It's not massively low as you've seen, but it is Clapton's, so there will be a fair amount of vapour. Now, if you wanted to recheck your build before firing, by all means, but I'm quite happy that I know this is sat somewhere around 0.3, 0.35, and on a freshly charged Samsung 25R, that is not going to stress my battery at all. So, firing up nicely. I'm going to take a little vape and I'll catch you for some final thoughts. And welcome back to the bit where you have to look at this face for a little bit longer. So yeah, that was a quick build on the NoPity RDA by NoName Mods. Absolutely love this thing. I have gushed over it enough in this video. I'm not going to really say too much more. For some reason it doesn't have the hype over here. It hasn't developed the massive following that some of their other kit has. I don't know why. Guys, go out, try one of these. I'm pretty sure you'll love it. So here's a quick vape on that 0.35 Clapton build. I appreciate that's lower than some of you guys are going to want to go. However, with this sort of new breed of squonker that's coming in, you know, the higher power cloud chaser types, I think you guys are going to really appreciate this, eh? So, absolutely lovely. Lots of flavour, lots of vapour. That is actually even saved a liquid that, to be honest, tastes pretty crap and everything else. It's one of my own creations, it's not somebody else's. But yeah, so there you go, there you have it. That's my thoughts on the NoPity RDA. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.